Welcome to Idle Talk Minis. Today, I'm here with the great, the wonderful Fernando
Thank you.
me.
Thank you. It's favoring you, boy.
Today, I would like to introduce a segment I like to call "This is what Fabian suggested," and we watched it.
And we watched it. Yep. What did we watch today?
Today, we watched Daredevil: Born Again.
Is that like season 4, or is it like a separate rebooted? Like, is it its own thing?
So?
What's it?
It's a little iffy. Like it is rebooted technically, but it is also a continuation.
So would it be like this is season 1 of this?
Brand new
iteration?
series, yeah. But it also you would need to watch all of them, or you would know nothing.
I
or
would
no
know
one.
nothing. Yeah. I didn't even
it is
know
connected.
that the first iteration had 3 seasons. I always thought
Yeah.
it ended like with the one Punisher.
I
was
might be wrong
introduced.
though. I don't know. Let me check.
You
Keep
have,
talking.
You have the world's.
I have the world's
the
internet.
smallest and greatest supercomputer in the palm
I'm
of
about
your
to check.
hand.
Keep talking now.
All right, so I will give you my first impressions.
Yes, please.
I was out here.
Oh, by the way, I'm caught up. Nando hasn't.
No,
We've
no.
only watched episode 1. We are going to continue these little minis as we go.
as
through
we
the
go.
episodes.
So this is gonna be episodes 1 coverage.
Okay, so go
good.
ahead.
Good for me because I don't know what goes on next episode.
Yeah.
But you have to make sure you don't talk about
Yeah, I'm gonna try my
stuff.
best not to spoil anything.
because we kick off this show, and I was sitting here kind of like guessing things. I was like, oh. Wilson Fisk is gonna definitely run for mayor. You were surprised I guessed that, but it's
So
just
fast,
it was just
yeah.
the way he was just like talking about the city. Any villain that talks about their city that way eventually wants to become like the
3
leader of
seasons.
it.
3
There's
seasons, yeah.
so I didn't know there was 3 seasons of Daredevil. I just thought it ended with the Punisher season, and so I'm missing a whole lot of context. So if you want to if you want to give like a quick breakdown of like
season
what
3,
you need to know to know about for season.
I'm trying to remember. So season 3 was all about like Bullseye and his character and introducing him. So it was that Fisk hires him originally to blackmail. Damn. Yeah, I'm dumb. Blackmail Daredevil. So he gives a Daredevil suit to Bullseye as he like goes on a murder rampage, and everyone thinks like Daredevil
did
people.
it.
Yeah.
Oh,
And so then
you
Daredevil.
mean Frame?
Yeah.
Frame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so and then Daredevil eventually catches up to him,
And he
beats his ass, and then goes to Fisk and then beats his ass and is like, if you go after me again, I'll let everybody know like you killed. I'll let everyone know because his wife kills like an FBI agent during that season.
Yeah.
And he's like, I will prosecute her and bring her to jail just like I brought you to jail.
Yeah,
and he's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
I won't touch your
He's like,
friends.
chill, relax.
But then Mr. Poindexter himself, Bullseye, comes back in this first episode.
And then
comes
you were
back.
really hype about that.
I love
Even though
him.
you watched this
Yeah.
this episode already.
Dude, I'm telling you, this episode 1, that close corridor scene is
Yeah.
so much fun.
Bro was like, you should know who that is. And I was like, who is
I
that?
thought you would because
I
you said
didn't-
you've seen the
I-
Netflix show, and I was like, oh, you didn't see it.
But I didn't know there was like that 3rd season.
Because like at least for me, when I watched episode 1 and I saw him like flick the like
Yeah.
little toothpick or
it
paperclip
was
with
like
the fly,
a
I was like,
paperclip,
it was
yeah.
like a light bulb. I was like, oh, it's Bullseye.
You're like, oh shit, it's happening again.
Yeah, and then I was like, yeah, but it might not be. It might be somebody. There's a lot of people who could shoot in Marvel.
Nah, I didn't
but I'm
know
guessing
that.
it was him.
I didn't.
And then he hits the hi Karen, and he does it in the last season, like when he's trying to kill Karen, and it's like, because he's in the Daredevil suit, and she thinks it's him, and she thinks it's Matt, and he's like, hi Karen, and he's like trying to kill her. And then
Did he
does-
say that to her?
Yeah, when he's walking up, like in the smoke, he goes, hi Karen, the exact same tone and everything.
Yeah.
Then that's why
That
I was like, oh, it is
crazy. And that's why he started putting the work on him more, right?
Yeah.
Damn, that was crazy. It reminded me of like season 1 when
That corridor scene, yeah.
So like whenever I saw the camera panning to that, I'm like, oh shit,
It's about to get
classic
crazy,
Daredevil, classic, close quarters, like camera tight, like action packed scene. And it was awesome. Like the fact, but we had to pause it a few times. 'Cause we had to like talk about certain things. But like when you pause it in the stairwell scene, and he had like 9 knives in his body, I was like, what the fuck?
It's crazy that you didn't notice. I think because when I originally watched it, I think I watched it on my phone. And so all those details I caught because it's a small screen. But because we're watching it on my TV and it's much bigger, I guess you miss all the little things that he's throwing.
Yeah, I know he's throwing them, but I'm just not seeing them land.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at this crisp ass like fucking camera quality.
Yeah.
And like you mentioned, like when you watched it on here, you were like, it was so good.
Yeah, it's way crisper.
And I think, I literally told you, I think the Disney cameras are just different. I'm like, because they're probably higher quality. They probably like when you think about storage wise, they're probably big files.
Remember what I said when we watched Brave New World? And I was like, if the same people that are making this show went to that movie, that movie would have done better.
Yeah.
Do you not agree that the combat in this movie
that shit was
is
crazy.
10 times better than whatever the fuck was in that movie?
It actually looks like they're fighting each other.
That's what I'm saying. And I was like, what type of stunt coordinator is Marvel hiring for the show that they're not hiring for the movies?
Except the White Tiger snippet that we saw, it definitely looked like he looked like it was just like doing like flips and
and
shit.
Like, but it's a TV.
Whatever. But
when Daredevil fights, it always looks so like brutal and real.
I kept having to ask you, right? They're still humans, right? Those two guys.
Yeah,
like,
they are. Well, superpowered humans, but as superpowered as you can get, like,
without being like a super meta.
Yeah, and meta human basically.
But then he throws him off the fucking roof.
Yeah. He does. He commits to kill, which is a really big move, at least in Daredevil period. He does not kill. Yeah, ever.
He didn't die though.
He did not, and the reason he didn't die.
Do you think he knew he was gonna live?
No, even remember in the scene later in that episode, he sits down with Wilson and he says like, Wilson's like, "Oh, I heard you try to kill Poindexter, which is Bullseye, like his real name." And he's like, "Yeah, I did." Like he doesn't even admit like, "Oh no, I knew he's like." He's like, "Yeah, I absolutely, I lost.
I tried it.
It's like I lost control and I tried to kill him." Yeah. Why did he try to kill him, Nando?
Bro,
what happened?
Because he pulled up on his boy.
Spoilers, by the way. So if you
pulled up on his boy and he said, "Kaplooey," killed him.
Is he dead? I didn't think they would kill Foggy that quickly.
He might be lying.
He's one of my favorite characters in the original show, so it's kind of nuts that they murked
him
so quickly.
He out here risen up.
That's what I'm saying.
The DA,
and they murked him so quickly. I was like, damn, bro.
I still, to this day, I still call him Froggy. His name is Foggy.
Yeah.
Froggy sounds cool too, though.
It does.
That could be his power.
It do. Yeah.
But he was out here like risen it up, and fucking Matt Murdock was out here listening to him the whole time. I'm like, damn, can I have a private conversation, bro? Why you always listening to my shit?
It's literally just his power. Bro.
Like,
if he zooms in and
I like how like
closes in on it.
There's scenes when he like stops and he's listening.
Yeah.
Because like he'll be walking and then he'll just stop randomly.
Yeah.
And then the people who are walking with him are like, "What are you doing?"
But at the same time, would you question a blind man just stopping in the middle and be like, "Hold up, I'm trying to get my bearings. I'm blind, bro."
No, I wouldn't.
That's what I'm saying.
But they put on the screen, they're like, "Huh? What are you doing?"
Like they get suspicious for like 2 seconds and then they remember, "Oh yeah, he's blind. Let him be. Let him rock."
What I was surprised about, I'm gonna jump forward a little bit.
Go ahead.
The fact that they made Fisk mayor that fast.
Yeah,
I thought that was gonna take like 4 or 5.
I think he's gonna be the villain of this show
as the mayor.
So they had to establish that quickly.
Did they need to do that though? I feel like that was.
Then what? We were gonna spend most of the show hoping and praying that he doesn't become mayor, and then he does.
Maybe.
That's super annoying.
Is it?
I feel like establishing as mayor and then be like, okay, we already know he's the villain. Let's go after him and try to figure out what the hell he wants to do with this. Because we still don't know. At least you don't.
I don't know yet.
Yeah, I'm not gonna.
I don't know his intentions, but I'm so far.
Yeah. What do you think?
I think he might just be a chill guy. Might just be trying to.
You think after being arrested and shot, he's kind of chilled out?
Yeah. Maybe they shot that part of him.
He did find out that his wife was cheating on him, and he was pretty chill about it.
Yeah. That's what I was like. Who the fuck is Adam? Who the fuck is like? And you were like, pay attention, and then you were like. And then nothing was resolved. I thought it was gonna be one of those things that get resolved easily. Like,
no.
Like I thought
you'll know by season 2, episode 2. They
thought
do show who he is.
He was like, "I promise," and then it'll cut to like
him murdering him.
Yeah. But like he already did it. Like he just told her. He just told her like, hey, I know about him, and to see what she would say.
Yeah.
And she was like, "Don't kill him." That's his first reaction. Her first reaction. That's kind of crazy. But I thought it was
because
gonna.
He's that nuts to just murder somebody.
I thought it was gonna transition into like a rock song that has a. And then every time I went, it would flash to him beating the shit out of that guy with his bare hands. Like that's as soon as he mentioned that, I thought that was gonna happen. Maybe we'll see where that goes. I'm excited.
We are gonna meet Adam. I will say that
plot point.
We'll see Adam later in the episodes.
But Foggy gets murked.
He does.
And then a year passes.
A whole year time skip. That blew me off. I was like, what? When I read it too, and originally I was like, we gonna jump past a year like that?
That shit was like, I was like, one what? And it said year later afterwards. Yep. So I think for some reason I thought it was like the title card of the episode. Like it would be like episode 1.
And then the next one would be like 2.
Yeah, but no.
No.
I was like, damn, we're just gonna brush by this.
Yep. It's not brush. They do address it.
Yeah. But like I kind of wanted to see like the few like because Karen comes back. Apparently, she's been gone for like a long time.
Yes, after the whole incident, she moves to San Francisco because of what happened.
And then so she mentioned that Matt Murdock ignored her for like 2 weeks, like 2 or 3 weeks, whatever, however long that was. I thought we were gonna be like at least
in those weeks,
and see some of that and kind of see it fall apart, and then skip ahead. Like I don't need to see the fact that okay, you're not talking to me. I'm going to San Francisco. Yeah, I don't need to see that. I don't need to.
Which, by the way, if you watch the original shit, they did date. That's why she has like. It's kind of weird between them, and you're like, why is she kind of a shitty friend? It's because they're not just friends. They had like a romantic thing, but at the same time, it never went anywhere because of what he does and what type of relationship they had. So it's weird. Like they are really good friends, but at the same time, there is like this weird feeling thing. And she's like, I don't want to feel what you ignored me after I needed you as not only as a friend, but someone who I had something previous with. Like like she says it like when she meets him, she's like, it wasn't just your friend. Like that was also one of my best friends that he passed, and you ignored me.
A big trio.
Yeah.
And then she ignored him.
Yep.
After him ignoring her.
Yep.
So I don't know. I don't blame either one of them for reacting the way they did.
The way people grieve is weird, and it's different. Everyone grieves differently. So I get it. Yeah.
I didn't really blame the kid, but I didn't really blame her either. But it was nice that they reunited in court at least.
Yep.
She went to support her deceased friend,
because Bullseye was getting convicted.
Yeah.
Do you think he's going to stay in jail for prison forever?
In like 3 episodes he's out.
In
like 3 episodes he's out of there.
Okay.
That's if I had to guess. If I had to guess, I'm giving it at least 3 episodes because anything less than 3 episodes is kind of crazy.
Fair. I'll get that.
I hope it's more than 3 episodes. I wouldn't be mad if we see that guy again. But I feel
like you should go rewatch Netflix's last season. I think it is in Disney.
Send me there
because
login.
I feel like you'd like that character. He's literally a maniac. Like he's like
his suit was kind of trash. I'm not gonna lie. It wasn't really a suit. It was just like a tactical vest.
Yeah, at least that's the one that they use is a comic. There's like a more comic booky one, like the spandex type shit, but they didn't use that one. They used the more tactical one that they used for comics.
That makes sense for that guy though. I'm like. You gotta hold those 80,000 knives you had somewhere, right?
Right.
And then a tactical vest makes sense for that. Solid episode, solid pacing. Dialogue wasn't cringe or corny, which is I think a lot of big thing shows, with Disney.
Disney shows for sure recently. Even in She-Hulk, he sounded kind of
he's
awkward because of the writing. But I like him in this show a lot.
I liked him in She-Hulk sometimes.
That's what I'm saying.
Like when he did like the big warehouse scene with She-Hulk.
Yeah, I like his suit in that one.
He was
the yellow one.
There's 18 of them down there. She's like, how do you know that?
I do like that.
That's a good interaction. And then you were telling me that he's a slut.
Yeah. Matt Murdock has always been a slut
of the MCU.
Yeah. One of the sluts.
All right, name your top 5 MCU sluts.
MCU or Marvel Comics?
Marvel Comics.
Marvel Comics. Human Torch.
Top 1.
No, not top 1, but he's up there.
He's up there.
He's definitely.
So 5.
Wolverine. It's on your hat. Wolverine is a slut.
He's bisexual, King.
Bisexual we seen too. Him he be getting it with everybody. He don't give a fuck.
Fucking trees.
Yeah,
sharks.
He don't care. Wolverine is
demons.
A slut, dog. Those 3 I think are like top.
The big 3.
Top 3. For sure.
Top 3.
I'm trying to think of more. Like I would say Cyclops, but no, he just cheats on Jean a lot.
Damn.
But he's not a slut. Like he cheats on Jean with the same like 3 girls.
Like Wolverine too sometimes.
There's a comic where they're in trouble.
Spider-Man?
Spider-Man, kind of a slut.
Right?
Kind of a slut, yeah.
But he's a nice one. I feel like he'll get into like a 7-month-long situationship with you.
And then he's like, but I'm kind of in love with my all-time girlfriend.
My actual girlfriend.
And leaves him every time. But yeah, Spider-Man, kind of a slut.
Kind of a whore.
But not as much as Matt. Like, Matt is openly a slut and tells everyone he's a slut and doesn't care. He's like, oh, I sleep around. I don't care.
Damn.
And he doesn't, any relationship he's in never ends up lasting.
He got the blind guy riz.
He do got the blind guy riz.
Because he gets to, trip over, like, hey, sorry, I almost fell over.
Yeah, I'm like,
shit. That's your move, Matt. That's your move.
My bad. I didn't mean to touch on you like that.
And then they started making out 2 minutes later. I'm like, that was...
And that's why I'm not Daredevil. Hey, but I caught it.
Because it bounced hard.
Caught that shit.
I hope you didn't break it.
I'm so happy to see Daredevil being Daredevil, bro. Oh my god.
I've been really waiting. Daredevil? He's quitting. I'm like, bro.
I mean, episode 1, dude. been waiting years to see this motherfucker use his fucking batons like the comic books.
And now he's doing like
he's
this,
doing it,
this
bro.
swingy thing.
The swingy thing. He'll toss them and it bounces on shit.
That's actually crazy.
It's
you know how
so
hard
sick.
you have to throw something for it to bounce back?
Yeah, I know.
I was thinking about like how Captain America does it with that big ass shield. I'm like, damn, you have to throw that. It's like the size of the microphone.
Yeah,
stand.
no, it's
like,
big.
like,
I've
like,
seen like those life size. I'm like, damn, to throw this shit like
dumb hard to the point where it bounces off and then precisely clocks the guy in the front of his head.
Yep.
I know that guy during that fight, like in the TV universe, he was probably like, stop fucking hitting me, bro.
Well, they fought before. They fought in season 3 a lot.
And I know he probably did not like that.
He broke his spine in season 3, and that's why he has an adamantium spine now.
That's actually insane.
Which he does in the comic books.
Is it adamantium?
It is adamantium.
Like in this universe?
I believe so. Now that it's in the MCU. Well, in the Netflix, they didn't say it was adamantium.
They're just like, hey, here's a super strong spine.
Yeah, like a medical strong spine. But and now that it's come to the MCU and adamantium is in the MCU again, I feel like they have every right to use it. Why not use it?
Yeah.
And I'm guessing they did because he got fucking thrown off a building and didn't die.
Bro, he landed face first.
Correct.
That's not his spine.
He would have. I agree with you.
That's his fucking skull.
He should have died. I agree with you.
He hit his whole forehead
straight on the ground. Yeah, and it was a tall ass building. I'm not gonna front with you.
It was like 6 stories.
He should have died, but apparently, whatever type of adamantium they put in his body kept that man alive. Absorbed all that kinetic energy.
Professional hater, and that's what keeps
him alive. All that hate
kept him running.
It might be,
to be honest. That was actually a crazy ass scene because you see it like it was a wide shot and he just plops.
Yeah, and it's unexpected. You don't know. You don't see it coming.
And then Karen
he
reacts
drops
a little
him.
bit.
Yeah.
Everybody around there's like,
they're like, what the fuck? Yeah, it's insane.
And then Daredevil pushes him off the ceiling, but he then takes off his mask, and I'm like, first thing I said, I'm like, why are you all masking random places?
I said that when he did it. I was like, why are you taking your mask? Like, if you're gonna grieve somewhere else.
Yeah.
Like why out in the open? Anywhere else.
Rooftop.
You swang to that spot, just swing away, and then grieve. Because I'm guessing. I mean, no, he didn't grieve with his friend. He was grieving on the roof
with some other guy.
He should have just swang away. I agree. But because he did that, the cop figures out who he is.
Which they're friends, right?
Yeah, they are friends, yes. But he didn't know that was Daredevil.
Like, not even all 3 seasons?
No, not until that point.
Oh.
That he, figures out,
He's like, man?
Yeah, pretty much. He's like, I mean, if I had a friend who was blind,
you wouldn't expect
and I had no, and all of a sudden, I found out this man was out here, beating people up and, I was like, how the fuck a blind man was doing all that? I'd be so confused.
I would have been like, are you actually blind?
Oh, yeah, I would have meet him, have you been fucking with me this whole time, bro?
What's that called when you there's a term to do that.
When you fake a
no,
thing?
like when you accuse somebody of faking their disability and they actually are disabled. There's a term that people why are you doing that to them? But that would do that. I would are you actually blind? You actually or no? Do one of these.
Well, anybody who even they weren't, they would just react like they were. You would have to try to hit them, make them flinch or some shit, right?
Yeah. No, but he's got those stone cold.
Yeah, he don't care. He get hit so often, he probably won't do nothing.
He don't got a nervous tick in his body. But you know who does? Wilson Fisk. That boy's anxious.
Very anxious.
He got hell of anxiety. He got OCD probably, right? Because he told me
one egg.
he eats the same egg and the one asparagus every day.
Every morning. Yep.
The fact that Matt Murdock, because they interact, they have an aura off.
Yes.
Pretty much him.
Because they both know, at least in the last season, they both figured out
who each other were. Yeah. Well, Fisk figures out who he is.
Yeah,
because Daredevil knew.
Yeah, he knew. Yeah, but no, Daredevil knew that Fisk wasn't just this businessman. He knew he was a criminal, and everyone else thought he was a businessman.
Business
and so he
mogul.
Got arrested and was like, "Nah, this nigga's a criminal."
He's like, "Yo, he does crime.
Big criminal, yeah,
big crimes. Not the little crimes, not the white collar crimes, blue collar crimes." But they have an aura off, and then they go have a meal. Some cup of coffee,
like a diner or something.
Like a diner thing. He's like, I miss when this was called Josie's. No,
the bar. He said I miss going to the diner in Hell's Kitchen because they both used to operate in Hell's Kitchen, right? And now they're both.
Now they're
I don't know
on
where
equal
they are,
footing now,
but they're somewhere else in New York.
Because it looks like the law office that Matt's working in. It looks like it's somewhere in Brooklyn area because he had to go to somewhere else to meet up with.
He went to Manhattan, I think.
Manhattanville or some shit.
Manhattanville, yeah, for that coffee day.
For that coffee day, right?
But I think we got to talk about that.
Yeah, we do. We do have to talk about that. But I think, it's one and the same thing. Fisk has not upgraded, but like has moved on from
Changed
Hell's
his
Kitchen
life,
into the greater New York
Exactly,
City area,
yeah.
and now
Matt's doing the
Matt
same.
as well,
Upgraded from
but
being
as
Daredevil,
a
yeah.
professional like
Attorney.
lawyer person.
Yeah.
So, it's interesting to see that there's a mutual respect there too.
Yeah.
Like even though Matt's very suspicious of Wilson Fisk, but there's
he literally told me, he's like, listen,
he like
I won't put the mask on as long as you don't do no shit.
Yeah, don't
He's
do-
like, you do some shit, I'm putting that shit on.
don't give me a reason.
And then Fisk was like, oh, well, if you do some shit, understand that I'm gonna get rid of all vigilantes.
Yeah. It's like they're threatening each
Yeah,
other.
they were trying to aura off each other. Then
Yeah.
Matt was like, all right, I'm out.
He's like, you know what? We're on the same page. I'm not gonna do nothing as long as you don't do nothing. All right,
I'm out.
capiche? I'm out of here. Bro's like silly little costumes. So I was like, bro just losing.
But the thing is, like, he says silly little costume, but that motherfucker wears that same white suit
That's his
all the
crash
time.
house suit.
That's what I'm saying.
the
He got a
crash
silly
house
little
suit.
costume too.
He does have a costume. He just says it's a suit, but it's a costume. It's definitely a costume for sure. And then he was like, "Hey, your footsteps are lighter." I'm like, "Damn."
Yeah, he called him skinny. He was like,
He's like, "Hey, you got skinny, bro."
He's like, and then he was like, I'm not gonna spar with you, Matt. He's like, I don't want to
Yeah,
fight
like,
with you,
yeah,
dog.
man,
He's like, I'll
it's
kick
not
your
fight.
ass now that you small, bro.
He's like, "You can't tank these punches no more."
Pretty much. He's like, oh, you little now.
He's like, "You
I
got
beat your ass.
soft." He's like, "Did you know about Adam?"
That's me, bitch. Pulls out of the car. It's him the whole time. I was cracking your wife, bro, while you was at the
He
hospital.
was in jail. That's crazy. My favorite part about their diner scene was when he's like, "Do you have any children, man?" He's like, "No." He's like, "What about you?" He's like, "No, but I did try to mentor somebody." And then Matt goes, "Yeah, didn't they shoot you?"
Didn't she shoot you? And he's like, he sat there, just smiles, like, yeah, you got it.
He's like,
you got me.
You're a funny guy. And then he's like, "Didn't your best friend get shot and die?" Yo, that was crazy.
Yeah,
and then,
I love those.
But
two
none of them
actors
crashed
together.
out about that.
Yeah,
too.
no, they
But
were good.
I feel like they wanted.
They
to,
wanted
though.
to. Yeah, they wanted to for
definitely-
sure.
But they didn't imagine the mayor beating up a blind guy.
Exactly. It would not be a good look.
Nah, I feel like I'm gonna take a big guess that there's gonna be a lot of like scenes where like.
Well, the next two episodes, I'm a warn you, they're very slow, meticulous lawyer stuff.
I like that though.
It's gonna be a lot of Matt being a lawyer because he, like he said, he's not gonna be Daredevil for.
It's like the political
until
episodes
it gets
in Star Wars.
bad, until he has to put the suit back on, which he does eventually.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna tell you what episode or when.
Yeah, like episode
but
6.
for an episode or two, you might just see that man in a suit.
I don't mind that.
Okay,
I actually,
okay. Some people complained online.
That was gonna be
about
my
it.
next point. I feel like there's gonna be a lot of instances of like Matt in the daylight.
Yes.
Where it's like, well, confronting, let's say somebody, right? And he's like, and then they fight or whatever. He's like,
Yeah.
what, they believe a blind guy beat you?
I'm telling you, next episode it happens, and the guy's like, "Why aren't you the motherfucker that beat my ass?" And he's like, "Who's gonna believe you that you get your ass beat by a blind man?" It's really
I
funny.
like when they play into that.
And
Matt's a piece of shit for doing that.
No, and every time it happens, when someone does that, and they're like, "What type of lawyer are you?" And he's like, "I'm a good lawyer."
Good lawyer.
Yeah, that's always what he says. In
Like
Spider-Man.
in Spider-Man when
Yeah.
they threw the brick and
He's
he
like,
caught it.
He's like, "How did you do?" He's like, "I'm just a really good lawyer."
Good
bro."
lawyer, man. That went to.
And then in She-Hulk,
went
same
to Xavier.
thing. They're like, she's like, "What type of lawyer are you?" She's like, "I'm just a good one."
Nah, Matt
I
Murdock.
love that line, bro.
I like that he like embraces his blindness, but he
yeah,
also is like
he's funny about
like,
it.
well, hey, I'm blind. Hey, what do you do? Hit a blind guy?
He uses it against it. It's funny as shit. I like it.
So I'm anticipating the next episodes. I like those little slower episodes
Yeah?
that build up the
Okay.
story because like you hate the political episodes in Star Wars.
I do,
And I
A
like
lot.
those episodes.
Oh god,
I
they're so
enjoy
slow.
sitting there and like watching it all.
Okay, so then you'll like the next few. I mean, I don't mind them. I like these next few episodes, but that's because I like Matt. as a
the only
character.
thing I don't like is when they have episodes like that when you have to wait a week.
Oh well,
for the-
when this show was released, both episodes were released together.
Oh, okay.
And then it was weekly.
Oh, okay.
So the
that makes sense.
first two, I wouldn't, that cliffhanger didn't happen. I just went to the next one immediately.
Oh, okay.
But the one after that, I did have to wait.
That's why I
a
asked you.
week.
I'm like,
Yeah.
did they release together? But
The first two, yeah, for sure.
Good. I that's a trend I do
Yeah,
like.
yeah.
So to wrap this up before we do shenanigans for like 2 more minutes, bro is the Rizzler.
Yes.
Everybody that comes on the screen.
Yep.
He just bags
Yep.
within the same episode.
Yep.
I don't think there's ever been an episode
Yep.
a baddie has been
I'm not.
introduced.
Listen, that man's Riz is unbeatable. I can't even like I can't hate. Like every time there's a baddie on screen, I'm like, he's gonna get with her. And then
He's
like
like,
two
what time
episodes,
is it?
2 episodes later, he's getting with her, and I'm like, damn, bro, like this
How
man
do you
don't
do
miss,
that?
bro.
How do you
He don't miss.
Foggy?
They be a lady like in distraught that her family just died. he cracks, and I'm like, what is going on?
So Foggy was raising up Kristen, right? Is that her name? Or what's
right?
the lawyer's
I think it
name?
was, yeah,
Right,
Kristen.
So something like that, right? So he's raising up her.
Yeah.
Then he gets shot and killed.
Yep.
And then so
a year later
works with him.
Yes, they are now partners on their own
and
firm.
their own firm. And then so she sets him up with this therapist lady.
That is her friend. Yeah.
That's her friend. Yeah. And then she tells
the way she sets him up is funny as hell.
She says, "Hey, he needs a therapist," and then he tells Matt, "Hey, she needs a
lawyer." Yeah.
And
so they both show up thinking it's a job.
And then he fucks it up.
Yeah, he's so mean to her, and then she immediately raises it up, and I'm like,
No,
how did he fix it?
I don't think it was mean. I think he was just like too sassy off the bit. Like, he was like, he's like, oh, I didn't know you didn't date lawyers. Like, why? And she's like, because you guys argue over everything. Your hours suck. And he's like, I think that's a gross malrepresentation.
It's just like, you're proving my point,
she's
bro.
Like, see, you see, I'm right. So then he starts making out with her.
Yep, next episode. Oh,
no,
same episode.
At the end of the episode. I told you,
right.
it's in the same episode.
Yeah, he does make out at the end. They go on a date. So they finish the brunch. It ends up, they're like, okay, we're upset that our friends set us up in a weird way, but hey, we like each other. Let's keep seeing each other. Mm-hmm. And so the night that Fisk is elected to be like the actual mayor of New York is when they're having their date, and he's walking down the street, and then everyone's like celebrating or causing commotion or riots.
And he does that thing I don't like, where he just stops in the middle of the street and
he's listening to everybody's conversations at TV, saying that Fisk got won and all this other stuff.
People are celebrating like Trump won, like they're breaking shit, destroying shit, which is the craziest part.
And then there's like people getting mugged, yelling for help, and he could go help, and he's like, "Nah, I promised I wouldn't put that suit on." So he doesn't.
He could just go help as a blind guy.
He could.
They're not gonna believe him.
I guess you're right. Yeah, he could have, but he was with his girl.
No, he was.
Was that before he met up?
No, it was after he kissed her at her front door. He
dropped when he was going home
himself. And then the crowd is so big, he just packs up his cane and just starts walking like a regular guy with sunglasses on. That's what he literally packs up his little cane, and then he's just walking like. He's like, no one's gonna know I'm blind.
I mean,
nobody's paying attention to me right now, and he just blended
especially
in perfectly.
in New York. No one gives a fuck.
Yeah, he just blended in perfectly with that. What would you rate this episode?
I give this episode a 9.
It was really good.
It was a really good start. It hooked me like immediately. It made me want to watch the second episode.
It had. I feel like everything that you would want a Daredevil episode to have. It has the action that grabs your attention. Then it like
good drama between the two characters.
And then it, some lighthearted moments, and then you got some moments with Fisk. He's just like aura dropping everywhere.
It makes you like be like, yeah, this guy's the villain for real.
And
like,
then you have the face off between
Bullseye
Matt.
and Daredevil.
No, Matt and Fisk. Like they're sitting here talking to each other. So like it starts with action, tragedy, drama.
Yeah.
Fucking the Fisk angle, and then Matt and Fisk angle, and then fucking Adam. Who the fuck is Adam? I'm gonna find out, Fabian. We're gonna find out.
Vanessa's wife.
Vanessa is the wife.
If we didn't explain it, I don't know if we did or didn't, but Vanessa has been cheating on Fisk since he got put in jail.
That's crazy.
With some man named Adam. And
that's crazy.
when Fisk got out, and
who do you think told him? Well, do we know who told him?
No, but Fisk.
He knows.
He finds everything out. Yeah, that's it's kind of hard to hide things from that man
from that guy. He's that guy.
Yeah, because he's super anxious and he finds out anything because he.
Bro's an overthinker.
Yeah,
right.
So
he be checking the phones.
He knows who Adams is.
He got a ring camera in the crib.
We're gonna find out what he's gonna do to Adam.
I hope he kills him.
How'd he find Adam? Where is Adam?
I hope Adam's being tortured slowly. You know how I would do the waterboard technique, but I would just open the faucet a little bit, so it would just build up over time. All
right, this motherfucker is crazy.
What?
That's where we ended.
You tell me he's not insane enough to do that.
I mean, yeah.
That's how I would.
That's crazy.
If I was him, I would do it that way. I would do if I was.
So what would you give it? For the start of the season,
I'll give it a 9 too.
9?
It's good. It's pretty good. Bang. It had literally everything. It had literally everything one Daredevil season has, but in one episode.
Yeah,
which is good to kick off the season.
Yeah.
But I think, like you said, now we had that big impact, right? We had the tragedy, and then it started getting a little slower. We got Matt character development, and then seeing what he's doing.
We caught up with Kingpin.
And like you said, episode 2 is more like that too, right? So then that leads to me to show me that at the end, like as the episodes go by, there's gonna be a little bit more, more like
there's gonna be more
of one, maybe like an action episode or like a
there is still action. I'm not gonna hold you. There is action here and there. You'll see Matt fight, but you won't see him fight with the suit on.
Okay.
He won't put the suit
Which
on.
I don't mind, because he said he's not Daredevil.
Not yet.
He said that at the beginning too. He was like, I'm not Daredevil. Froggy's like, I didn't want to give you an excuse to put on the suit. I'm like, bro, now you're dead. So you should have told me.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, I agree. He should have told him.
Right?
I agree.
Even from the get-go.
From the moment I got that call, if I was fucking like, yo, Matt, help, please, immediately, bro.
We're gonna get killed.
I would have immediately yelled for help.
You think Matt could get killed? Like shot, like with a gun?
Yeah,
like
if he's not wearing his suit, yeah, 100%.
You don't think he like wears like a little like Kevlar like tank top?
I mean, maybe, but we haven't.
I haven't seen.
I mean, Kingpin does. I remember in the first
season, right?
Yeah, he wears a Kevlar suit. So maybe I don't know.
You don't think Matt's walking around strapped up?
Maybe.
I think he would.
I know in the Daredevil suit, it's bulletproof.
Yeah.
Or as Kevlar
as
bulletproof as Kevlar is.
Because those knives were going piercing.
Yeah, they were
right
piercing.
To him.
Yeah.
I still can't get over the fact that he had like 17 knives.
Yeah, he has a really high pain tolerance. That man gets beat up a lot,
bro,
and he don't give a fuck.
And he just bleeding all over the crime scene.
Yeah, he don't care.
Nobody has found out who that guy is. They're like,
but they
this
would
is Matt Murdock's blood.
But that would also mean that Matt Murdock would have to have a criminal record for his blood to be taken, right?
I don't know how that works.
Why would they just have his blood on file?
Didn't he go to? Hasn't he gone to a doctor? Like
maybe, yeah. But why would the doctor give their files to the police?
I don't know how that works.
Yeah, me neither. Talk to me, forensics.
Friends and family. He said forensics.
Yeah,
he said friends.
No, forensics, like the people who work in that type of bullshit.
But yeah, solid episode. I'm excited for the next one.
Same.
And
I'm excited.
We're gonna jump into that ASAP. Peace.